In fact, in this moment, throughout the world, we've got low growth and high debt. Africa is not an exception. So we are constrained physically, and some of our state-owned entities, their balance sheets are constrained. And through this credit guarantee scheme, we're seeking to mobilize private capital to move into that infrastructure. As we all know, investors are managing two things: reducing risk and enhancing returns for their own investors, for their own shareholders. And one of the ways through which we're de-risking investment into our infrastructure is through this credit guarantee vehicle that we are putting together in South Africa. And if it becomes successful in the energy sector, we intend to take it to other network industries, telecommunication, freight, logistics. And once we are done with the work on it very well, we'll definitely come back to you in different phases of this credit guarantee scheme and other sources of funds that will require from the bank. Lastly, the politicians, what they say on the street, we speak forever. And I really try not to be a typical politician, but I'm successfully flailing not to fall into that trap. The last thing I want to say, G20 is coming to Africa. G20 is coming to Africa. And it happens that it is just going to be hosted in one geography called South Africa, but it is on the continent. And we are working with all our brothers and sisters on the continent, through the union, through a whole range of institutions, including the bank, because the bank does not only provide funding, but provide knowledge, and we're looking forward later to work with you on this as an important knowledge partner, so that by the time G20, all people from all over the world have left the continent, we must say, here is the legacy of Africa, which was crafted in a geographical space called South Africa. So we're looking forward to working with you on this conference. And I thank you very much. Have a good evening. Happy birthday, African Development Bank. I'll catch you. I'll be 60 years myself very soon. We do have a lot of minerals that are required for supporting the world as far as the decarbonization is concerned. And institutions such as the African Development Bank, they are quite critical in mobilizing capital to be directed towards Africa for economic development. And we've been stable politically in terms of the political institutions that we have. We no longer have frequent coups as we used to have them in the past. I'm not saying that they are not there, but they are not as frequent as you will have them in the 60s, 70s. So in terms of democracy and the stability of the institutions, we're going somewhere. And these are important ingredients for us to deal poverty, unemployment on the continent.
So my name is Leila Farah Mokadem, and I'm happy to be here today celebrating the 60th anniversary of the African Development Bank Group. Our invitees honored us in coming, all the African ambassadors and our shareholders, our clients, our partners came It's an important milestone as we move now to do more for Africa as a continent, Africa as a united continent, Africa as an integrated continent. I think the African Development Bank has had a large impact on the population, whether on access to energy, access to food security, access to water and sanitation, but most importantly, we are looking forward to the next 5 to 10 years. We have approved a new 10-year strategy recently, and the main objectives or strategic guidance remains the high fives that are Light Up and Power Africa, Feed Africa, Industrialize Africa, Integrate Africa, and improve the life of people of Africa. I think as we move to the next 2 or 3 years, in particular for the Southern African region, we are looking at enforcing the renewable energy agenda and the energy mix. We are looking at more agribusiness and value addition. So in Southern Africa, the African Development Bank is supporting the regional member countries of the SADC region, and we are currently implementing a portfolio of around $13 billion. As we move forward, we are looking at coordinating our efforts with our other development partners to increase the access to electricity. And in fact, President Adesina, the president of the bank, and the president of the World Bank have agreed on a common initiative, the F300, to increase by 300 million access to electricity in the next 5 years. So as we move forward, the African Development Bank would like to support the access to electricity to more than 300 million people in the next 5 years. And this is the initiative that President Adesina, the president of the African Development Bank Group, along with the president of the World Bank, have agreed to pursue. It's called Mission 300. President Adesina also launched the Mission F300 to end hunger and to ensure food security in Africa. As we move forward, also, we need an industrialized Africa. And if we need an industrialized Africa, we need to put the right enablers, which are the infrastructure, the hard and soft infrastructure, and we need to work on connecting our countries through multimodal transport, rail, road, ports, airports. So focusing on this cross-connectivity is critical.